All right, excellent afternoon to all our viewers across the globe. We will not walk in the same direction, and in our direction, or with our different direction, of course, we have different endeavors that we create with our various walk of lives. Again, I say excellent afternoon to you all. I remain your convener, Kike Atanda-Owo. And of course, I have the real talker on the platform. How are you doing, Lola? Let me come to you.
Anyone that Kike will now start to blame me and say, oh, I'm the one that stay at how I do. So what's it, Lola? What's about? Oh, Kike, I'm so fine. Welcome to your number one lunch hour show on TV. Thank you very much for joining us every time. Today promises to be another exciting show. Sit back, enjoy with us.
All right, F4, how you doing?
Hello, Kike, the lady in olive green. I'm good. It's good to see you again.
Yeah,
good to have you back. Hello, viewer. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. We'll enjoy the pleasure of your company today. Join in the conversation and let's have fun.
But Kike didn't bring Kilishi.
All right, fantastic. Guys, it's here. Let's hear what history is all about today on this day in history segment. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
On this day in history, exactly 22 years ago, on the 27th of January 2000, Zamfara State became the first state to enact the Sharia Penal Code in northern Nigeria. The governor at the time, Ahmed Sani, was the first to introduce Sharia 4 criminal law. This happened within a year of the 1999 elections, which brought President Olusegun Obasanjo and new state governors to power. The Sharia Establishment Law was introduced in Zamfara State on October 27, 1999, and came into force on January 27, 2000. The introduction of Sharia in Zamfara State attracted a huge amount of attention, and Ahmed Sani became the self-appointed champion of Sharia in Nigeria.
On this day in history, exactly 22 years ago, and I remember how, based on when I was doing research on how to actually gather this on this day in history segment, and I felt that I do not understand why we are still talking about Sharia panel codes, and I know that even though Zamfara actually did the right thing in enacting the code, but what's your take, Atefo?
Well, I think I have to differ, because when this happened, it kind of like plunged the nation in confusion at some point, because Nigeria being a secular state, you have a section of the country saying, starting with Ahmed Sani, the then governor of the state, saying that they'll have a penal code for criminal activities. Nothing wrong with that. The question is, who are the victims of this penal code? To my mind, that's my opinion really, it's directed at the poor. Because the elites who steal in Zamfara, what exactly have they done to them from that time till date, 22 years after?
All right. I think with that, you've touched on a lot of things right now. And I think that because of time, it's important for us to also go into another on this day in history, because exactly 52 years ago, an icon was born. Yes, I emphasize an icon. An extraordinary man was born. A man who later became a key, when I say dispensable player in the hospitality industry of Nigeria, and his immense contribution in the industry, you know, beyond what makes him this figure is what makes him successful with a lot of people. And as a pace setter, you know, I feel that he has transformed the game and business of hospitality in Nigeria with the leading 5-star hotel, Eco Hotel and Suites, and as one of our headline sponsors, as the contributor of Real Talk with Kike, the supporter and the benefactor of this platform. And what's more, I think I should hold my breath. Let's get to see his profile. Stay with us. We'll be right back. I know that was very interesting. I was just digging the bill to the day.
It's actually very fun.
Yeah, all right. Without further ado, let's join the birthday boy via Zoom. Like I say, yeah, the birthday boy, because he's a young boy because of 52. I still feel like he's looking agile and like a bachelor, you know, even though he's married to my sister, but he looks like a bachelor, he looks like a young boy. How are you doing, Mr. Danny? Excellent afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
We're so excited it's your birthday. Happy birthday to you. But I need to ask you, what does it feel like to be 52? What does it feel like?
I'm feeling 25, so 52, I don't know what it's all about. So
It doesn't feel a day older than 25.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the spirit. That's the spirit. That's the spirit.
Age is just a number. Okay.
So, you know, I would like to ask you, as a Greek and a patriotic Nigerian, you've touched lives and supported many value-driven platforms. So what are your hopes and aspirations for years to come? And, yeah.
You know, I live in Nigeria now for the last 20 years, and my hopes and aspirations are for Nigeria to grow, to develop, and to become a better place, you know, for everybody and for all the 200 million Nigerians that live here. So this is my hope and this is my prayer. Of course, we'll have an election here next year and pre-election year this year. So I pray that things will move in a direction that will move the country forward and will develop and will grow. This is my prayer.
Fantastic.
That's very exciting,
Thank you.
Mr. Danny. But this one is on a softer note. You know, Nigerians like Owambe. So when are we going to be digging it? Because I want to dance Sonia. Do you know Sonia Desa?
Of course he should.
Or is it?
Yes. He's coming to play for my birthday tonight.
He said something.
Sir,
He's coming to play on my birthday tonight.
he's coming. Okay. So we are raising the roof.
Okay. I just want to say happy birthday to you from the Real Talk with Kike.
Thank you.
Happy birthday. We say we appreciate you. We appreciate your sponsorship of our program. And we wish you the very best going forward.
Thank you.
So happy
Thank you.
birthday
Thank
from
you very
all of
much.
us here.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
I think
Thank you.
I just want to say that I'm sure you know how I feel. I adore you. You're more than just family to me. Let me say like, oh, you're family to me. But more importantly, I just want to say that continue to be who you are. I pray for longevity and soundness of health for you. And I pray that God continue to hold you and your family. On this note, I say have the best day ever.
Happy birthday!
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you
bye
very
now.
much.
Yeah, bye.
Welcome.
All right, on Real Talk with Kike today, we don't just talk, we give real talk and follow up with the real value by providing updates on development and asides or strides, you know, taken by stakeholders and industry navigators towards public and societal campaigns. And today we will be airing another exclusive interview with Dr. Ismail Adebayo Adewusi. That is the Postmaster General of the Federation, CEO, Nigerian Postal Services, Nipost. And Nipost have been in the great deal of work and reinvention. This reinvention is about doing, it's not just about what it's doing, but the fact that it's transforming the whole organization, which I saw by myself. All right, it's an excellent Friday afternoon right there in Abuja. My name remains Kike Atanda-Owo, and of course, I have the privilege to be with the Postmaster General of Nigeria by his name, Dr. Ismail Adebayo Adewusi. And I must say that it's an honor to be in your presence at this moment. And thank you for hosting us, because we are in your organization. You are the host now. How are you doing today, sir?
Very well, thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome to Nigerian Postal Service headquarters in Abuja.
Many thanks again, sir. And I think it's important for us to just dive straight to the topic at hand, or the discussion today, because I call you the transformer. When I did a bit of research on you, I said he is a transformer, and many Nigerians, as far as I'm concerned, are beginning to realize with the repositioning and the reinvention of your organization, Nipost, with what you're doing thus far. But I must ask you, you know, as a lawyer, you know, how did a lawyer and an economist, you know, become a postmaster? You know, it's I couldn't balance it. How did it start?
Well, thank you very much. First of all, I would like to say that most postal administrators across the world did not go to school to learn postal service administration. Just like any other administration, the post is also business as it is. And so anybody who has knowledge about business, knowledge about managing people and resources can easily manage the post. And that's why you have all over the world people who are economists, lawyers, accountants, managing the post. Because the post has its own peculiarities, there's no doubt about it. But most of it centers around managing people, managing resources, and transforming lives. And that's all about it.
Transforming lives. I would like to really touch on that, because I know that when it comes to Nipost, it transforms life with all the news that it gathers from it. But, still talking about electronic cards, because I know that the new postal electronic cards you're about to launch is another feat, in your reinvention of Nipost and its services in general. So what would Nigerians get to enjoy more, when it comes to the new postal card? Because I think I caught a glimpse of that yesterday, and it's actually beautiful.
Well, the truth is that, Nigeria Postal Service belongs to an international body known as Universal Postal Union. That is the UPU. Which of course administers the world post, as it were. And so on a constant basis, this world body meets from time to time to chart new courses for how the post should be administered around the world. And so in Nigeria, we're a member of that body, and because of that, we learn a lot from other posts around the world, in Europe, in Americas, and the rest. So what has happened is that in the case of Nigeria, we have seen that we have difficulty about financial inclusion because we have so many rural communities in Nigeria. Nipost incidentally operates in all the nooks and crannies of Nigeria. All the local governments are represented. We have representation, we have office. And we have discovered that in many of these local communities, there is no access to banking service. Because the banks operating in Nigeria today, they are operating for profit only. And of course, Nipost as an institution is a social service provider. And because we see the gap in the need to provide financial service to the people, even in the rural communities where they don't have electricity, where they don't have internet. So that is the reason why this card has been developed, in order to make a lot more people access, to financial services. And to the extent that once this service becomes operational, you can use it to transact all manners of banking services that ordinarily you have to go to a bank to do. You can leverage on the various post offices that is very close to every homes, to transact your business. And that's the whole idea behind this Nipost card. Of course, we are not the first to do this. In the rest of the global postal communities, they already, even in Africa, in Ghana, in Cote d'Ivoire, in Cairo, in Egypt, they are already using cards, even to the extent that their cards are used by pensioners to collect their pension on a monthly basis. And we want to get to that point in Nigeria where pensioners need not go and queue in the banks to collect their pensions, because almost every pensioner lives in an area where there is a postal service. And so this is where we are going. So we have just started. And I can assure you that as we move on, we are going to see very many more of this kind of initiatives that is designed to assist the people, to create more employment, and to lift many more people out of poverty, in line with the Mr. President's agenda of lifting 10 million people out of poverty.
All right.
Many thanks for your submission thus far, and I must say that at least this you've touched on the key forms of your organization, all the reforms, and of course I think that I would like to tie what you've just shared into ease of doing business, because however you look at it is about evolving, and that's what the world is turning into presently. But coming back to when you got to the position that you are in now, in the last 2 years, like you shared earlier, technology have redefined so many aspects of our lives, and of course, and has changed a lot of things when it comes to information at our fingertips and all of that, the likes of Google, the likes of social media, and internet technology as a whole. So I must ask you, are you leveraging, on this platform to streamline, the services of Nipost? Because I know that quite a number of people don't write letters anymore. They don't write letters. So how are you doing that today?
Well, the truth is that technology has become the new normal. Whether we like it or not, we have to live with the new normal with respect to internet and all its associated problems. For us as a postal administration, the use of internet is disruptive to our activities. There's no doubt about it, because so many people ordinarily that would come and patronize us by writing letters and sending parcels down, they use the real-time WhatsApp, internet, emails and the rest. So it, in a way, it has affected us, but in another way, it has created another set of opportunities. Because now e-commerce has taken over the space. Even though you can use the electronics, email, WhatsApp and the rest to communicate, you cannot use such facility to move parcels across the length and breadth of Nigeria. You still need to move some of these items physically from one point to the other, and that is where we're coming. So we have seen that gap, and we are really pushing hard to bridge that gap, so that, because you notice today that in Nigeria, while letters are declining, the volume of cargo is increasing. And so we are trying to put all our emphasis on cargo and cargo delivery services. And that is where the niche is, even for many postal administrations across the world. So Nigeria is not an exception. So we are pushing hard to use, and let me tell you, technology has come to stay. Even as it is, we are using technology to monitor the mails and the parcels that moves around. That's what we call track and trace, which is only technology that can enable that to happen. And so a lot of new initiatives are coming up, adopting and leveraging technology to enhance our service quality and service delivery. And that is the reality of today, because we live in a competitive environment. We have competitors in private sector, players, and they don't have the kind of challenges we have, because they operate only for profit. For us, there is a social service obligation imposed by the Universal Postal Union on every designated public postal operator, that you must, as a necessity, subsidize the products that you market, that the product that you push out to the public space. And because of that, we continue to subsidize. You post a letter until the December last year, you from Lagos to Maiduguri, you pay 15 naira, which of course that cannot even cover the cost of such moves, because if you use what we see on a day-to-day basis, you want to send a letter from here, this is Garuki to Wuse, you will not spend less than 500 naira, not to talk of moving a letter from here to Lagos. So, but we have continued to subsidize, but we need to live with the reality of today, that it is no longer sustainable, and because of that, we are also reviewing our rates, in line with the current realities, and that is the truth. That's the truth.
Many thanks for that, and I must say kudos. And the reason why I'm saying kudos also is because, doing research about you, I realized that you eat 7 billion revenue, which marks an unprecedented record of Nipost. So I need to ask you, sir, what was the revenue like, before your assumption of office? And I must ask you, how do you intend to keep this record? Because as far as I'm concerned, when you hit one record, you have to beat it with another, high point. How do you hope to sustain this?
The issue of sustaining revenue is not the problem. The problem is the cost of our operation. The cost of doing business is rising by the day. Because of the nature of our business, we move items from one place to another. And so the equipment, the vehicles that we use, the maintenance of those vehicles, the diesel, the cost of diesel is now 350. So it's a change of events, which is a value chain. So at the end of the day, you discover that even if you make such a huge revenue, you lose most of that in your cost of operation, which is constantly changing with the situation that we face today. So we'll continue to work hard to ensure that we can double revenue, but since we don't have control over the cost of doing business, we can only play around what we get. And by so doing, I expect to continue to survive. Yeah.
Well done on that milestone. But now I understand why people call you the transformer, and I think I would like to join them in calling you that going forward, because I feel that you are one of the few elites, that have brought about change in the system, and that is what we've emphasized thus far about change, about ease of doing business, about putting checks and balances in all that you're doing. But I really want to understand where estate development came into place, because in one of the your brochure that I read, I saw that estate development initiative were one of the strategies that you used. So I'm wondering, what has Nipost got to do with estate development? Educate us, sir.
Well, let me say that the ongoing reform of Nigerian Postal Service would not have been possible if not for the very strong support that our Honorable Minister for Communications and Digital Economy, that's Professor Isa Ali Ibrahim Pantami, has given to Nipost. He has been a very dogged fighter on behalf of Nipost. He has continued to provide very strong leadership. And I'll tell you that it is during his tenure as minister, that the reform has been further achieved. Particularly, let me give you an example. The idea of unbundling of Nipost started long before now, since 1985, but it was never, there was no, it was not successful. I will say it was not successful since 1985. But in the last 2 years of this administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, the Honorable Minister has ensured that we can push that frontier of reform further. And that is what has led to the unbundling that has been recently achieved. What does it involve? It has led to the creation of 2 new companies as subsidiaries of Nipost. We have now a property development company. We also have a transport and logistics company. And we are waiting this year for the Post Bank, which is going to be the high point of our transformation. And what does it, how come that the idea of a property company came about? Nipost has very large, we have landed asset all over Nigeria in very choice locations. You remember that prior to independence, immediately after independence, every community is rated by the centrality of their postal system, their post office. In those days, we all go to the post office. That's where we do our rendezvous. Everybody go there to relax, That is not the case today. We want to relive those old memories. We don't want people to see ShopRite as the only place to go and relax. We are providing a lot of service in the postal facilities that you can go there and access a Wi-Fi where you can do your internet, service. You can do all manners of service in the post office. We are taking the post office into what I call a one-stop shop, where you can do a myriad of facilities. You can do your cash transfer, cash in, cash out. You can do your registration for national identity number. You can do your application for driver's license. You should be able to do your insurance. A lot of things that are done in other climes by the post office. We want to bring them back to Nigeria. But talking about the development, the property company, we have seen that except we have a commercially driven subsidiary of Nigerian Postal Service in a property company, we will soon lose all the land assets that we have to encroachment, because most of those land are abandoned. Nobody is doing anything there for many years, and land cannot be in a vacuum. Once people see a land that is lying fallow today, tomorrow, in the next 1 year, people will begin to have ideas as to what to do. They will encroach, and we've seen so many cases of that. That's why the Honorable Minister supported and championed that move, that we should now have a property company where we will now put all of our landed assets, and then the company will now develop most of those assets into real estate, proper real estate, into shopping malls, shopping complexes, and that way we'll be able to enhance our revenue profile rather than allowing those properties to lie to waste as it is currently the case. And that is the rationale behind the setting up of the property company. In the same vein, the logistics and transport company has also been set up. And the idea for that is that business of logistics is a very huge business. According to the figure for 2018 statistics, it's about 250 billion projects, 250 billion revenue in logistics alone. And we believe that Nipost should be the champion, should lead that market. And that is the reason why we have set up that logistics and transport company to also warehouse all our transport assets and acquire more and push it into the commercial arena, where they will now compete with all the private sector players who ordinarily do not want to ply the local interland. They leave all those places, they don't go there because of course their motive is to make profit. But because we have the obligation not only to make money, but also to provide social service to Nigerians wherever they are resident. And that is the whole idea.
Fantastic. I must say that this is a very beautiful partnership initiative that you both have partnered together. But however, there's another thing I would really like you to throw more light on, and that is a part of, battle against crime and drugs. And in this area, I feel that is a very key importance when it comes to you championing this this organization. I had a recent interview with the representative of Colonel Buba Marwa, the head of NDLEA, at something mid last year or something like that, and it was revealed that courier services were used in terms of drug crimes and trafficking. So how does the organization, how has it risen up to this occasion in terms of curbing all of these crimes and the youths of today who are not even ready to put in the work in terms of trying to find an ends meet for themselves? They want quick money.
Well, thank you for that question, because I made a courtesy visit to the chairman of NDLEA sometimes last year, and the purpose of that is that before now we have very strong collaboration between Nigerian Postal Service and the NDLEA and other security agencies. And the reason is this: we are the gateway for all the mails that is coming into Nigeria and all the mails that is going out of Nigeria. We have an international mail processing center in Lagos, where we have the presence of NDLEA, we have the presence of Nigerian Customs Service and all the other security agencies. And what happens is this: once a mail is coming into Nigeria, it comes through our facility, and all such mails are screened using our big scanner to see whether they contain arms, ammunition, currency, or things that are ordinarily illegal. And we have found over time that this kind of criminals, they have used the post to smuggle in some of this illegal stuff. We've discovered that, and once we discover such things, we hand over these articles to the relevant security agencies immediately. And what we have done after my visit to the NDLEA chairman was to now agree that because we have the responsibility to register all the courier operators in Nigeria according to the law setting Nipost up, we are supposed to be able to monitor and to give license to all of the operators in Nigeria. But we have discovered that so many people are operating illegally. Without obtaining any license, they will just put a motorcycle on the road and start collecting items from unsuspecting members of the public. What we have done is that all the registered courier operators that comes through Nipost to register with our license, we forward the list to NDLEA on a regular basis. We update that list on a regular basis. Same with the EFCC. We upgrade update the list on a regular basis. And we have not stopped at that. We have also started clamping down on such illegal operators. And what do? We try to do a surveillance of their activities wherever they are, to the extent that we even send our people to go and use their facility to collect receipts and all of that. And then we know where they operate. And we now, clamp down, we seize their equipment, and then they now come back. Many of them have been forced to register, as a result of that. And we want to also use this opportunity to tell those people still operating illegally that their days are numbered, because we will catch up with them, because it's a continuous exercise. What we do is on a regular basis. We have been to major cities, we've operated a clampdown exercise in Abuja, in Lagos, we've been to Benin. This year we are going to go to so many other parts of the country, Enugu and the rest. So it's a continuous exercise. And so we believe that when people now get to see that Nipost is living up to its responsibility, it will begin to reduce the numbers of such illegal operators. So I can assure you that for us it is a battle that we continue to fight, and we don't have any doubt that we are going to win that battle.
Well done, sir. Many thanks for that submission, and of course educating us and telling us how far that you've come regarding trying to curb the crimes and ill activities regarding Nipost and all of that. However, earlier you were talking about e-commerce, and I would like you to emphasize more on that, because e-commerce thrives in the pandemic period because of the solution it has brought, to physical commerce, and I would like to know, how do you leverage on e-commerce, being a logistic chain, with all you've shared thus far, in terms of the entire system? Because I feel that where e-commerce is going today, I don't think that we all need to be on our toes to understand the regiment of how to go about it, and look for how to focus on strategies in our organization. How do you think you want to go about this in entirety of your system?
Well, for us in Nipost, what we have done, we have a full-fledged department of e-commerce and logistics in Nipost that handles most of the e-commerce projects. Generally, we have a full-fledged department, and what we have done is that department has the responsibility of working with the Amazons of this world, the Alibabas of this world, all the major e-commerce platforms. They are working with us. To the extent that if anything is coming into Nigeria, it will come through us, and then we will now deliver on their behalf. And that is the way, because many of them, yes, they can operate by sending stuff here, but they don't know where, because of the expansive nature of our territory in Nigeria. You are sending something from China, and that package will be delivered in Kaura Namoda. The biggest, the fastest that some of this world will do is the nearest state capital, where they have an airport. But once they get there, they get stuck. So we take it up from there, and then we deliver. There is this company that people are mistaken as to the nature of our agreement with them. There is a company, it's a Chinese company, it is called Speedoff Express. It is also an e-commerce, a logistic company. What the agreement they have with Nipost is that all their mails, all their e-commerce items coming from China, once it gets to Lagos, they hand it over to us. We deliver on their behalf because we have the reach across, and we have so many other platforms like that. There is another company that is called America. It has a very big base for e-commerce items. We have been operating with them for about 3 years now, and this year they are kind of tripling their presence by sending even more items to us to deliver on their behalf. So that is the way we can leverage on our capacity to expand our e-commerce activities. And I can see that is the future of our business, because now that letters are dwindling and associated stuff, the e-commerce remains the only veritable source of our revenue, and we are not going to leave any stone unturned to optimize value from that source.
All right, not leaving any stone unturned, because I know that some of the research that I did as well is the fact that one of the challenges of Nipost is scarcity of funds. So you lamented that 28 years ago, no capital votes. Yeah. So I must ask you, how have you been doing this in terms of this fund miracle and being able to even get to a hit of 7 billion? How have you been able to do this? I want you to throw more light on this.
I must tell you that it's not been easy. It's been very difficult to keep working because we continue to face challenges on it. We need, for example, let me tell you that for us to really get to the peak of our business, we need more than 200 to 300 vehicles, high tonnage vehicles, because the market is there. But we don't even have up to 20. We don't have up to 20 now. So, and for us to really get to that level where we will command the market presence, we need up to 200 vehicles. And so it's a continuous process. Yes, the funding is not there, and that is what has also informed the idea of unbundling for commercialization. Because if we rely on the government, don't forget also that resources are coming down. Government resources is declining. It is declining. Revenue is declining. And that is the fallout of the pandemic, which has affected the global economy generally, not only the Nigerian economy. And so we must all become creative. We must all find a way, to assist the government and ourselves to keep going. And that is why we need to embrace more of this idea of public-private partnership in order to drive our business going forward.
Antefo, let me come to you, because I know that a lot was shared today with the CEO of Nipost, but what's your take regarding the electronic postal card? When you heard what he shared, what's your take on it?
I think that's quite innovative. It is, because we're looking at this as the age of technology now.
And it's officially launched today in Abuja.
Wow. Oh, fantastic.
Should have brought some for us.
You
I
know.
know.
So fantastic. This is the age of technology. Like he rightly said, you know, you cannot push away technology. Technology is involved in all strata of businesses. You know, I particularly like something he said about the collaboration between Nipost and NDLA. And I think that's the way to go. Agencies should collaborate one with another, because that's the only way you can.
And I think especially improving on the, will I say, the parcel checks and courier
Yes.
services.
Yes.
Scrutiny
It's
in terms
fantastic.
of partnership.
Yes.
That you can see that NDLEA is also against drug crimes. And
It's just like we said, no man is an
genuinely agree.
island.
Yeah.
All agencies should come collaborate, because we're talking about one country and moving the country forward.
I particularly
Yes.
like his dynamism. The fact that they are diversifying. They're not just sitting in one
Yes.
place, you know, just becoming obsolete.
Look at the estate
They are-
management is
yes,
bringing
they're
up.
bringing
Look
up
at the culture that is also coming together
so many
with
things,
it. A whole
yes.
lot of, yeah.
So a lot of advancement, and I really like the fact that they need to be at the forefront. They are the cheaper option for the masses.
Yes.
Everybody will still would have wants to send parcels.
Another thing I like to say, I hope by the time he's done with his tenure, we don't know how long, I hope there'll be continuity. Because that's the biggest problem we have in this country. You know, and this is just a result. Fantastic interview, Kike.
Thank you.
I must say that. This is the result of putting round pegs in round holes. Because if you put the right people in the right place, you get the right results.
Right results.
And I think my takeaway also from this is the fact that, you know, Nipost is leveraging on technology.
Yes.
You know, in terms of information technology. I think that is what actually informed this electronic parcel, I mean,
Yes.
card that you just created.
Yes.
And because, like you said, when it was granting the interview, that whether we like it or not, technology is here to stay. And
It's here
that's
to
true.
stay. That's it.
We
That's
have to
it.
keep moving
That's the
forward.
reason why I had to join them 2 years ago. If you can't beat them, you join them.
Oh, Lord.
All right,
But
on
that was a
that
good
note,
outing.
yes,
Fantastic
many
one.
thanks,
Yeah.
and I must say many thanks to our host Nipost. You know, they did a wonderful hosting. You know, and my team actually enjoy themselves, and the fact that, you know, most times when I go to an organization, sometimes I think people don't know what they're actually going to be looking out for. I like when I'm working closely with people, and you can see the staff having ownership culture, which I feel that is what is missing in most organizations today. Ogata Wala is what most staff actually give out, but you can see how there's an inclusion. You know, I'm ready to give their all, maybe because I'm a trainer, but you know, I just look out for such character traits in staff.
Yeah, you usually say that. I think this is about the second or third agency you've gone that you actually, Nigerians, if your place of work is very conducive and the leadership is good, people will put in the 120%. Trust
Kike,
me.
I was even going to say that when he was talking throughout, we didn't hear anything about staff training. I'm sure they have to do a lot of work.
Reorientation.
A lot of work.
And that reorientation is something that I asked him as well,
Yes.
just that we couldn't just wait till the end of the interview. But on that note, this is the end of this exclusive interview with the CEO of Nipost, Mr. Adewusi. And quickly, we are touching on the trending stories. That is the story that binds us together. And the first trending story that caught our attention is that of the IALT. Over 35,000 Nigerians, you know, they're angry, quarreling why they should take English proficiency, you know, as test before they can leave the country. You know, Lola, what's your take?
Do you know that this IELTS, people still take it and fail it? And for me, I'm not against it.
I think there's comprehension, there's
audio, so many things, sides to it. I just think that it's something that makes you better, even whether we need it or not, because I find it a bit ridiculous sometimes that you are going to an English speaking country and yet you're still taking IELTS. How do you want to judge? You're proficient in English and you can write it. But I see it as development. I'm not against it actually. I think that whether you take it or not, it's going to make you better.
No, I just feel that the British are exploring us or exploiting us.
That's the word.
If you look at it from the angle of this examination that they are trying to enforce us taking, because in my head, it's a pity that they could be doing that to us after colonization.
Exactly.
Because they are the one that colonized us. And why would they now come and tell us that, oh, as a lingua franca.
And English is more like our lingua franca.
I just feel that even those who are even insisting that we must take this English language, the people you call British, I don't know if you've actually worked closely with them.
Oh, please.
They are not actually British. They have their own first language, and that's the truth. And I think that's part of the challenges that we're facing today. I know, I must confess to you guys, once there was a time that I actually sat for this exam with a friend of mine that we both attended university together at Igbinedion. At the time I was thinking of relocating with my children. Then I was going through a lot of challenges, in my previous union. I was like, okay, maybe it's time for me to go. Funny enough, when I went there, the process and the likes and all of that was very rigorous. Then the amount that you have to pay is another thing entirely. Then thirdly, when you see the crowd, you will know that there's something wrong with us in this country, that there's a brain drain that is going on that we are not paying attention to. So in my head, I just feel that they are taking advantage of the exchange rate in our country. I feel that, there are a lot of things that is going on when it comes to unemployment. There's no ease of doing business, and they just want to tap into that, and that is what is disturbing to me. However, I still wonder what the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, what they are still doing in terms of diplomatic missions. I just feel that cases like this is not something that should linger on. That's the reason why I'm in support of this protest, and I feel that the fight is something that we all must come together for our rights, because I do not understand why students who go to school and go and write WAEC and made it compulsory that they must get 9 A's in whatever subject, and they are paying how much? A token, maybe 15,000 naira. I stand to be corrected. I want someone to tell me that I'm not right. But when it comes to IELTS examination, you are paying almost 30 something. You are paying almost, and it's
just about the education of
for me, I just feel it's ridiculous, and some things I feel that we must stand up together, as one, so that these people, I'm sorry, I'm referring to them as these people, they will not continue to take advantage of us, because I feel that it's unimaginably expensive. Why would you, for any reason? Do you know there are some people that they would gather this money for months before they could pay? How much is the regular civil servant in Alausa? How much are they paying them?
But the country is good. Why, if the country is conducive for its people, there will be all this will be unnecessary.
So I think more importantly, even the people living in UK, like I said earlier, are not fully British, and they have other languages, and that is what that we all need to even learn to embrace our own culture, learn to embrace our own language, so that way the government who can be well informed, the government who can understand that they need to take care of our country and take care of this enabling environment, ease of doing business. They need to actively contribute to the economy of the youth, so that they can, have jobs. A lot of youth are out of school and they do not have job, and there's no development in this country when it comes to things like that. And that is the reason why you've seen the likes of this IELTS and other initiatives that are taking advantage of our development and our youth, importantly, because I don't know if I should even tell it to you, because I've seen a lot of family as well, units that are ready. I wanted to relocate with my children, so let's assume that I have a partner or a husband or a lover or whatever. You people could decide to say you want to relocate. We've seen a whole lot of people who have relocated in how many years now, and the reason why you see a lot of organizations that are having brain drain today, and the reason why some of the problems we are facing, in terms of putting the right people in the corridor of power, we are not getting the right people. You've seen the diaspora, the people in diaspora, they're not ready to come back home. Do you understand?
We do not have the enabling environment.
What are they coming
back
Number
one.
For?
Number two, we do not have deep thinkers in our government. We do not. They do not care about the people, whether you like it or not.
We need to
Those in government, particularly now, they do not think about Nigerians. They don't care about the people.
This is the
and
time
without the people, who do you rule over? Who do you rule over? Everybody is coming with their own thing.
What would we say? 2023
like Kike said,
us.
we were colonized by the British. So why will the British council sit down in one place and think about what about all?
And they would do that because you people, you are not putting your house in order.
That is what I'm saying.
So whether we like it or not, they will
exploit
us. They will exploit us. It's a natural human thing. once you see a lacuna, you want to bridge it.
Oh, definitely.
And they will want to milk it. And when they see people coming and coming, what would you logically do? You keep increasing the cost to discourage people. But because nobody wants to stay in this country, they will do anything.
And I think to add to the poverty rate in our country, do you understand? I think it's over 90% or something.
We're the poverty capital of the world now.
And I think that is also part of the challenges today. How many illiterates do we have? Do you understand? It's just unfortunate. It's just unfortunate. I just hope that we all can come together and learn from this and come together to fight this battle. Because it all affects us. On that note, I think this is where we've come to the end of another interesting episode of Real Talk with Kike. And indeed, it was an awesome show with Nipost interview, the exclusive interview with the Nipost CEO, Mr. Adebayo Adewusi. And to my co-host, many thanks for keeping it real.
Thank you.
On that note, my name remains Kike Atanda-Owo, and you have been.
You were
Lolo One.
And I am FOEFO dot. Thank you.
I like that. FOEFO dot. That's a new one, guys.
No, that's what I've been called all along.
Yeah.